Hey guys, it's Téa and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about some yoga poses that are great for relieving stress and anxiety almost right away. For me, these poses are essential when I'm feeling super anxious. I just go in a room by myself or find space by myself and do a couple of these poses to alleviate a lot of the stress. Now, a really important part when you are doing these poses is to do it with the breath. So you want to make sure that you are taking deep breaths, deep inhales and deep exhales with the poses, because I feel like that brings out the most effects. Now, just like yoga works, anxiety works in the same way. They're both very mind-body associated things. So when we're feeling anxious, first we think about something anxious in our heads, and then our body reacts to it, and then it kind of becomes a cycle where you become more and more anxious and your body reacts and then your mind reacts. It seems a lot like it's a never-ending cycle. And the same goes for yoga. So as soon as we do a few of these poses and maybe create a flow and have the flow go along with deep breathing, we find effects in both our body and our minds that completely relax our entire system. So that's why I wanted to share with you these super important poses that are essential for immediate stress or anxiety relief. So the first one is legs up a wall. Now when I took this video, I totally thought I had more room between the deck and the pool, so my head's like almost in the pool, so just kind of ignored that, but let's just focus on the pose instead. So firstly, get as close to the wall as you can, but make sure there is a few inches between your hips and the wall, because you don't want to be pulling a muscle or getting hurt in any way. Now this is a super basic move and your legs can be straight or bent. It's totally up to your capabilities. But we next want to focus, of course, on the breathing to make sure that we are getting the full effects of this pose. Now let's get into what benefits that this pose can have. This pose improves circulation, and this is a great hamstring and lower back stretch, especially if you're having lower back pain. And it automatically triggers a relaxing response in the body, which can relieve stress and anxiety. Now the next pose, and one of my all-time favorites, is forward fold. I feel like this pose requires a bit of strength but also a ton of relaxation at the same time, and that's why I love it. Now you do want a slight bend in the knees unless you're super flexible, and you can either put your feet hip distance apart or widen them as much as you'd like, and release as much tension as you possibly can. The way I like to do this is I imagine that gravity is pulling down my upper body, so it kind of makes me release all of the tension in the shoulders and in the neck and the upper back, and I totally feel so much more relaxed. And because of my speech impediment, I get a lot of tension in my throat, so doing this and just relieving all of the tension in my upper body really helps to relieve stress in my throat and in my jaw. This pose is great for stretching the hips, hamstrings, and calves. It strengthens the thighs and the knees, and it's kind of surprising how much strength you actually need in this pose because your upper body is doing barely any work, so it's all in your legs. And I find that this is a great strengthener for my leg muscles as well. It keeps the spine strong and flexible, and lastly, it calms the mind and the nerves in the upper body. Next is shoulder stand. And now not everybody has this in their practice because this is a pose that requires a lot of strength and concentration and core muscles. So it's kind of a tough one to get into your practice. So if you can't do this, you can opt for doing an L pose, just lifting your legs upward as far as they can go. This basically has the same effect as doing a shoulder stand. So to do a shoulder stand, you're basically just going to lie on your back and prop your hips up until they're above your head. Now make sure your hands are on your lower back to kind of help your lower back out a little bit and not get injured. So after this, try your best to straighten your legs and tighten up your core. This should form kind of a straight line. This is a great pose for digestion. This improves circulation and can help with headaches if they are caused by tension or blood pressure. And lastly, of course, this aids in relaxation and stress relief. Now next is child's pose. To get in this pose, sit on your knees, whether they're together or slightly apart. Lean your upper body forward as far as it can go. And you can either have your arms kind of beside you and facing backward, or in front of you for an arm stretch as well. Now the benefits of child pose is that it releases tension in the shoulders, back, and chest. It's also great for digestion, and you can also get a stretch in your upper arms as well if you're choosing to have your arms in front of you rather than behind. This is always a pose that I start off my yoga flows with because it is a great one for becoming more aware of your body and your breath work. In this pose, I like to focus on how my body is feeling in the moment, and I sometimes will do a body scan in this pose as well to begin off my yoga practice. So as you can tell, this pose has so many benefits, and that is definitely one of my favorite poses for relaxation as well. When I'm looking for a pose to relax myself, doing some twists really helps as well. Now these ones are called supine spinal twists, and you're basically just lying on your back, bringing one knee to the opposite side so that your upper body is still staying straight while the lower body is twisting a little bit. And if you want to take this a step further, look over to the other side that your knee or knees are facing. This makes the twist extra strong and enhances the benefits. So the benefits for any kind of twists are that it improves digestion, massages the back and hips, relaxes and realigns the spine, releases stress, tension, and anxiety, and restores balance and focus. And lastly, Savasana. I feel like this is a super easy, super simple pose that I obviously don't need to give any instruction for. But I think that the only instruction I have is to focus on relaxing all of your muscles. And a technique I have for this one is once again focusing on gravity. Focus on how gravity is pulling your body down and how it is automatically relaxing all of your muscles. Realize that in this moment you have nothing to do besides relaxing and staying in Savasana pose. Now I find that just lying on the ground and making sure that my spine is straight is really good for my posture, but as well, this is a great pose for relaxation and stress relief. It is also a great one for focusing on your breath work and getting your breathing back to a normal state, especially if you're feeling anxious or stressed. So I hope that you found this video helpful and that you can use these yoga poses in the future for relieving stress and anxiety. These are all super important poses to me because I'm somebody with high anxiety and high stress. So these are super essential to help me relieve that stress and calm me down. If you have any requests for videos to do in the future, make sure to leave those in the comments below. I hope you are all having a wonderful day, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye.